Do you know how to Korea?
How to Korea?
How to Korea?
How to Korea?
Out of Korea.
How to Korea? This is How to Korea.
Alright, so welcome to How to Korea, where we talk about how to survive in Korea as a foreigner. Make sure you like and subscribe our videos, and leave any comments if you have any questions, and we'll be sure to address them in our future video. Anything else?
You didn't say I'm James.
Oh yeah, I'm James. This is Ian, and Ian's going to tell you a little bit about what today's episode is going to be about.
안녕하세요, 여러분. 저는 Ian입니다.
Nice.
How was that? Not bad.
That's pretty good.
Welcome to How to Korea, guys. For today's episode, this is our first episode. So, yeah, bear with us. There's going to be a lot of mistakes, but we're here to learn, right? So, we decided to create this podcast to help people survive in Korea, right? So today's episode, we're just going to talk about who we are, where we came from, why we are still in Korea, and we're going to touch on a few of the future episodes that we plan to create for you guys. Like James said, please, in the comments, let us know what you guys would like to know, because we don't know what you don't know. All right? So first of all,
before that, you want to talk about how we, this is like our 5th recording of our first video?
we've recorded this first episode probably 3-4 times.
Yeah, around there. And different places, different settings, but I think we're kind of set right now, right? I think we should share this photo later of like the full setup.
Yeah, it's pretty intimidating actually.
Yeah. We should have taken some photos of the older setups. That would have been pretty cool.
There's nothing to take.
Well, I'm saying just, you can see the before and after. And the microphone we used to use, my mic, photo of that.
Yeah, we'll share some pictures of our journey.
Yeah, somewhere along the line. But sorry, straight off topic. All right, so we're going to start off with why we came to Korea, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
well, first tell us. James, who are you? What are you doing? Where do you come from?
Who am I? All right, so I came from New York. I came to Korea about 6 years ago. No, almost 7 now. I came in 2017. So we're verging on 7, like 6.5. Came around 6.5 years ago, and first time I came here, I worked at some Korean company.
Okay, just hold on there.
Yeah.
Just for the record, James is Korean American, right?
Yeah.
American Korean, what is it?
Korean American.
Yeah.
I think that's the way
And
to say
then
it.
the Koreans refer to you as a gyopo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just so everyone knows. I know he looks Korean.
Yeah.
He is half Korean.
We could talk about Kyopos a little bit. Well, we'll get into that. Let's do our introduction. We'll talk about Kyopos a little bit. Before that, shout out to Keon in South Africa, because his idea for surviving, he's one of the teachers I work with, and he had an idea where he's like, yo, we need to make an app. It's called My Kyopo, and you just need, it's like Uber, but with Kyopos.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, foreigners, when they live in here, they need, like, a translator.
Yeah, sure.
Right? So they're like, we should make an app where, like, everybody gets matched with a Kyopo that helps you do all your shit in Korea. And I'm like, that's a great idea, actually.
And just give him like a fee.
Yeah, it's like a little commission.
Very helpful.
Oh,
yeah.
Somewhere we could think about that somewhere down the line, right?
Yeah.
So go back to my story. I came from America, New York, about 6 years ago, 6.5. And the first time I came to Korea I was working at a Korean company, and the owner of that company was a friend of my mom. And he kind of, he didn't really teach me how to live in Korea, per se. But that was like my first real experience of Korean corporate culture.
Yeah.
Which is not fun if you're a foreigner. It's new. And not a lot of foreigners could do it, I think, because there's so many cultural differences that you need to be aware of.
Not only the language.
Right, and I mean, to begin with, the language, right? You need to be able to speak the language first. But it was difficult, to say the least, right? So I worked there, and the plan was, this company was like, so when you make automobiles, like the big parts in automobiles, like the roof and the doors, trunk, etc. So this company makes the machines that stamp these out.
Okay.
Yeah, so like these big, like however many ton machines.
Industrial,
straight metal, like pure steel. And you make these machines, and then these machines go to a car company that stamps out thousands, tens of thousands of these panels. And that's what they use to make the car, right? So the outer body parts, basically. No. Is there a
Just
question?
cut that quickly.
Oh. You hear the clock? No. No, it's fine. This is part of the process. Like this one's recording, right?
Let's check it.
Yeah, I want to check all the recordings. I think we can leave this in the video. It's just it's
Whatever.
part of the process.
Okay, so and right now, what are you doing now?
So right now I'm an English teacher at a English academy,
Okay.
which is a very common job for most foreigners that actually come here.
Yeah.
It's mostly their first
And also,
job.
that's what we call a hagwon, English hagwon.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be familiar with that terminology because as a foreigner you're gonna hear that a lot. I would say about 80 to 90% of foreigners start in Korea at like a hagwon, right? That's kind of like their first step into this country.
90% of my foreign friends in Korea are hagwon teachers.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the other 10% being people that work in other big companies like Google and etc.
Yeah.
that come to the office.
I do also, because we live in, by the way, we live in Ulsan,
Yeah.
on the southeast coast, I would say, southeast.
Well, technically it's Bukgu, so it's north. Bug means north.
Okay, but the city, Ulsan.
Ah, yeah,
Just the
in
city.
Korea.
Yeah.
It's like southeast-ish,
Yeah.
above Busan.
Basically, it's the headquarters for Hyundai. Hyundai.
Yeah, Hyundai.
Hyundai.
I think in America we say Hyundai,
Yeah.
but in Korea they say
South
Hyundai.
Africa, we also say, I can't even remember anymore.
Hyundai,
Anyway.
I think.
Yeah, so we have a lot of engineers as well that work on the ships and that they design and build and whatever, all the ships.
Well, there's two Hyundais.
Yeah.
So one of them is the automobile, Hyundai automobile,
Yeah.
Hyundai car,
Yeah.
which they call Hyundai 자동차 in Korea.
Okay.
And then there's the Hyundai Heavy Industries,
Yeah.
which is where they build the ships,
Okay.
which they're
Yeah.
famous for too.
Yeah.
Both of them are in Ulsan.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both kind of in Donggu,
Yeah.
which is the
It's,
east area.
I
of
used to
Ulsan.
live there actually, so every time you drive past, you just see thousands of Hyundai cars getting ready to go on those boats. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. Like morning time when they're all going to work, it's crazy too.
Okay.
And then after work, did you see that video where like people were running out of work? Like, oh, this is a video from people that end work at Hyundai, and you just see 1,000 people running. Like they're not walking out of work like, oh, we're done. They're like, let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
They're like just running, like
I haven't seen
sprinting.
that, no.
It was crazy. So Hagwon. So I work at a Hagwon, English teacher, and for me, I think it's a little bit easier for me to progress through the ranks here because I speak Korean.
Yeah.
And the reason I say
Super
that,
helpful.
yeah,
Mm.
and the reason being like a foreigner, it's a little bit more difficult because once you get to a certain position in a Hagwon, you have to be able to speak Korean to speak to the parents, right? But if you're a foreigner, it's there's kind of a limit there unless
Yeah.
your Korean is really,
Mhm.
really good. So
Which is not a bad thing. Like,
No.
Speaking as a foreign teacher, Korean directors or bosses, they would love to give you as much work as they can.
Yeah.
Right? They want to
yeah.
milk you for every single penny that they spend on you. Because we aren't cheap,
No,
right?
no,
Foreign teachers are not cheap.
right.
We'll get into that a bit later. But so they would like to milk you for every single thing that you can do. So can you imagine if we were able to communicate to the teachers or to the parents?
Yeah.
Oh no, that would be our number one job.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because imagine you had a foreigner speaking Korean talking to parents like
So if you can speak
that's
Korean,
advertising.
don't.
Yeah.
Just don't. Hide it as long as you can.
It depends. I mean, if you like talking to parents, I mean, I enjoy it, right? I enjoy talking to people about their kids and just
Yeah.
kind of telling them how they are. So it depends.
Sometimes, some students, sure, I want to tell their parents, but
Oh.
no
That being
thanks.
said, I think when we talk about pay real quick, a lot of foreigners, they start off higher than a lot of Korean teachers
Mm.
that teach at the same Hagwon, right?
Yeah.
So their salary is definitely higher. And when we start talking numbers, like I don't want to get into specifics, but let's say roughly a foreigner these days, the going rate is what, like 3 million all included to begin, to start?
all included. Well, but there's a lot of things that are included.
Right.
Yeah.
So
But let's just say like your basic salary that they pay you.
it's around 3 million won a month.
No ways, dude.
Oh, just the salary,
Just
without the
salary.
housing or anything.
Yeah, without
It's
anything.
like 2,425. It's up now.
Well, if you look on Facebook, like your jobs in Korea and teaching jobs in Korea, you look at all those pages on Facebook.
Yeah.
There are, shout out to Daniel Lynch, actually. He's one of the keyboard warriors on those Facebook groups. If he sees something that's ridiculous,
Yeah, he
it's
types
like,
it up.
no ways, this is crazy.
Yeah.
People used to pay this 10 years ago. How
Yeah.
can you still pay this? And then it's like 2.1,
Right.
depending on experience and blah, 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 blah.
Right.
So, yeah, some of it's still crazy. Like, you can literally go back to 5-10 years and the pay that the people want to give the teachers are exactly the same for the same hours. You
Wait,
know,
sorry, hold on. Your mic seems to be a lot louder than mine.
Louder?
Yeah, it seems to be picking. Like you see those spikes.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay. But yeah, so it's Daniel. You were talking about Facebook.
Anyway, yeah. So Daniel. Yeah, he's one of those keyboard warriors. He's like, this is ridiculous. You can't expect to pay the same rates as 10 years ago and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're looking at like 2.1 sometimes, 2.2, 2.3.
I would say don't take a job for less than 2.3 as a foreigner at the very least.
First year, first time job.
First year, first time.
First year, yeah, I would say 2.3.
Yeah, that's kind of like the at least minimum that you want to be looking for. And so now we were talking about the whole package, right? So we're talking just strictly about like Hagwon teachers because again, 90% of foreigners, that's where you'll start your adventure in Korea.
Yeah.
So I think you start around 2.3 just for the salary, and taxes are only 3.3%, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
Is that only for teachers or is it?
It really depends. Because you're technically a freelancer. It depends on how you're categorized. Okay. But taxes on your actual take-home pay are 3.3%, and then you have 4 different insurances in Korea.
Okay, but all of these we need to get into later episodes because we have so many ideas that we want to share, and we want to get into detail out of every single one of them. Okay? So yeah, we touched on the pay and whatever. Right. So now you're a teacher.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, before me, let's talk a little bit about you. Tell me about you.
All right.
Why you're here.
Like I said, my name is Ian. I am South African, born and raised in South Africa. Korea is actually the first country that I came to with my passport. I never even ever had a passport before coming to Korea. Yeah. Huh. So came to Korea in 2017, December 2017, and I've been here ever since.
5 months after me, right?
Yeah.
Around.
I was supposed to come here just for like a year or 2 years, check it out. Yeah. It's been 6-7 years now.
That's how it starts.
That's how it starts. Yeah.
You either hate it or you love it. So you stay for 6-7 years or you leave after the first
but
year.
that's the thing. Like compared to South Africa, just what this country provides you, it's so hard to go back to South Africa where you have load shedding. That's where they.
Load shedding?
Do you know load shedding?
Load shedding?
Load shedding.
No.
So, yeah. Every day they cut off your power, your electricity.
Okay.
Every single day, and then depending on the schedule, they give you a schedule and say your power is going to be cut off at 8 o'clock or let's say from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. Every single day. Load shedding all around South Africa.
Well, because the infrastructure isn't built well? Like...
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of reasons. That's one of the reasons. That's a very complicated reason. But yeah, there's a couple of reasons. So yeah, they just turn off your power every day, sometimes longer. And then you also have your people stealing the power cables. That's another excuse that they use.
Yeah.
You have people stealing power. Okay, that really does happen. But yeah, they steal the power cables like my parents. Often where they sit without power for a week.
Because the power cables were stolen?
Power cables were stolen.
Jesus.
Stuff like that, yeah. And I mean, here in Korea, I experienced, in my whole 6.5, whatever years, I've experienced one blackout.
That was in Ulsan, right?
In Chungju.
In Chungju.
Yeah, that was in Chungju. And what happened was someone crashed into like a power line or something. It was a car accident. Someone crashed into a power line.
I think like
but it was all for 2 hours.
But there were 4 or 5 years ago, there was like a snowstorm or a typhoon that knocked out the power for a little bit too. I remember hearing about that.
In Ulsan?
Maybe just Ulsan.
Maybe, I don't know, because I was still living in Chungju back then.
All right.
Yeah.
But some guy drove into a power line and destroyed
Some guy drove into a power line. Power was out for about 2 hours.
Considering a car drove into the power line, took them 2 hours to fix it. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's one of the great things about Korea is they're fast. Everything's fast.
Also, comparing South Africa and Korea, safety. Safety is one of the biggest reasons why I've decided to stay.
No.
Because obviously South Africa is not a very safe country.
So I hear, yeah.
Yeah, there are safe areas and there are terrible areas, just like any country.
No.
But Korea is just so safe.
I don't think there's any like dangerous areas in Korea.
I've never felt threatened or scared in Korea.
Yeah.
Never in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except one time I walked into a dance club, a nightclub in Seoul. And it was packed with like American military guys. This was when I first came to Korea.
So you were more scared of Americans in Korea than actual Koreans?
Yeah, but I mean, like 90% of them didn't have shirts on. They were just dancing, going crazy. So and you're like, yeah, I don't think I want to stay here that long.
No, probably not.
Yeah. So I left.
Speaking
of
which,
saying I don't hate Korean military guys, American military guys. Like I have a couple of mates that play rugby with me. So
yeah,
cool guys.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of which, there's a lot of soldiers here too.
Yeah.
So a lot of foreigners, but I think their base is located in Daegu.
Well, they
mostly.
got Daegu, Pyeongtaek.
Pyeongtaek up north.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know if the
Probably
one
near
in
the
Seoul
border.
is still open.
Probably near the border. That makes
Probably
more
somewhere,
sense.
yeah. They used to have one in Itaewon. I don't know if it's still running or not.
After that Halloween event, I don't know.
Yeah. Let's not talk about that.
Yeah, no.
All right. So yeah, like I said, I'm also a teacher. I've been a teacher my entire Korean journey, and
all 6 years?
yeah, I've been a teacher. I first started out with kindergarten for 3 years.
I can't imagine you teaching kindergarten kids, bro. Like, how was that?
I had a gift with the younger kids, man.
No, you didn't. You did?
I'm telling you, yeah.
With the kindergarten kids?
Yeah.
I imagine it's just like, well, you told me you're not the one like changing diapers and stuff. You're just basically playing with
Yeah.
those
No, we
kids.
had helper teachers doing all those kind of things. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, man, when you're a kindergarten teacher, you're basically you have to be a clown all the time. You know
Tons
what I
of
mean?
energy.
You have tons of. It's so draining.
Yeah, of
It's
course.
so draining. You have to do singing and dancing and songs and this and that, and then you have to listen to the kids, teacher, you know, like
you did all that, singing,
everything.
dancing, and everything.
Everything.
Why can't I imagine you doing that? I can't.
Not a lot of people can.
No.
Lucky if you have witnessed it.
Oh.
But, yeah.
Oh.
But
Oh.
yeah, it was super fun. I must
How
say.
many hours did you work when you were teaching?
I used
those
to work
kids?
from 9 to 6. Yeah.
So
9
9
to 6.
hours of
So
just
9 to, I think it was 9 to 2 was the kindergarten,
Yeah.
and from 3 to 6 was the elementary school.
Oh,
kids.
so it wasn't kindergarten all throughout.
No. They left.
Okay.
I think it was like at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock they left. I can't remember, but 2 or 3 they left, and then afterwards with the elementary school kids.
Was it like a real kindergarten? Like it was a school, or
Yeah.
was it like a hagwon?
Hagwon, yeah.
So what were the kids? What? I don't understand. Like, because in Korea we have something called 어린이집,
Mhm.
where you send the little kids, but that's not. It's more like a school than a hagwon.
Yeah, this was it's a kindergarten,
So it's a real school.
a real school.
Yeah. So it's not a hagwon then. It's a little like
Look, the main focus was English. They
Okay.
did have a Korean class every day, one Korean class,
okay.
where we had a Korean teacher teaching them Korean stuff and math and whatever.
Okay.
Once a week they would have PE. Once a week they would have music.
So it's like an English kindergarten basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you worked in one of those.
Yeah.
How's the pay? Not bad.
Not bad.
Good,
Yeah.
good enough to start with.
But like I said, after my first year, I wanted to stay. I liked it, and then asked my boss for a raise, and she said, "Sure, go ahead, take a raise." So I got a raise, stayed another year, got another raise.
No.
But the only reason why I left is because the city that I lived in was called Chungju, and it was so small, and it was so boring. There was nothing to do.
Where's Chungju?
It's like in the center of Korea, man.
Near Daegu?
No, do you know where Chungju is?
No.
All right. Anyway, it's 2 hours south of Seoul.
Okay.
Yeah, by bus. 2 hours south of Seoul by bus.
Okay. So
Yeah.
it's actually pretty close to the north. then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it got pretty cold in the winter, man.
Of course it did.
Yeah.
I'm sure it did.
Anyway, yeah. That's the only reason why I left, is because the city was just too small. There was nothing to do in those smaller cities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And then I moved to Ulsan because I played rugby with the Ulsan rugby team.
while you were in Chungju?
Yeah. I used to drive
Oh.
all the way down.
Jesus.
Yeah.
You didn't play in Seoul?
Well, sometimes if you had a game in Seoul, play in Seoul. But I sent out a message to all the rugby groups, by the way, just talking on the rugby. There are 4 rugby teams at the moment in Korea.
Are there
Seoul.
still 4? I thought one of them.
No, it's still 4. Seoul, Busan, Ulsan, and Pyeongtaek. The
You still have a
military
team
base.
in Ulsan?
Yeah.
I thought you like combined with Busan last time we talked about it.
Yeah, at the moment we're still figuring out if we're gonna combine or not, because at the moment in Ulsan we just don't have enough players. And Ulsan's also a little bit low on players, so we combined with them.
Yes.
Anyway, so if you guys want to play rugby, go check out those 4 teams.
Mm.
Ulsan Goblins, Busan Bandits, Seoul Survivors, and Pyeongtaek Stars and Stripes.
Stars and Stripes. And those are the army guys. A lot
are
of
the
army
army
guys
guys,
in there.
But you can still play there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so they play outside of the base.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they train on base and then they just go play outside of the base. We've played on the base there as well.
You can go in.
Yeah.
You need,
Well,
like,
it's a
all
process.
Yeah, all sorts of papers.
It's a
and shit.
process.
Oh.
My God, it's a process. But yeah, we've played on base.
All right, so yeah, I mean, those are some of the things you can do in Korea. I mean,
Yeah.
some of the reasons why we stayed in Korea, some of the more interesting things about Korea, and I think that it kind of covers why we're here or why we came. Well, why did you come? That's not what we talked about. We
Oh,
didn't talk
okay.
about
No,
why
no.
we
So,
came, right?
so I used to be a high school teacher back home, right? For about 5 years or so, I was a high school teacher. And then I just got tired of it.
How long were you a high school teacher?
About 5 years,
5 years.
close to 5 years. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got tired of living from paycheck to paycheck, barely making it by.
Mm.
And then, yeah, I had a friend that actually came to Korea.
Oliver?
No. Cameron, actually. We studied together,
Mm.
and then after we finished studying, I started teaching, and he came to Korea. And yeah, he was always telling me about how cool it was and how much fun he's having, and the pay is much better and whatever. So then, eventually, I was just like, I was so tired of doing that same old shit back in South Africa, so I decided to come.
How
here.
much better is the pay here?
Oh, so much better then.
Like relatively speaking, what 2 times, 3 times?
Jeez, I would say at the moment it's close to 3 times. But it's also with conversion rates and all those things, which is much different.
Roughly.
Yeah, so I used to take home about 13,000 rand as a teacher in South Africa.
Which is equivalent to maybe like 1 million won, if you do the rough math.
I can't tell you.
Okay.
I haven't looked at South Africa's conversion rates for
Whatever the rate was back then. Like I'm
Back
sure in the
then-
beginning you thought of it in terms of rand, not won, right?
yeah.
Oh.
So I used to make 13,000 rand. I did a conversion to see how much rand I would be making.
Yeah.
And it was about close to 28,000 rand.
It's a
or
little bit
something.
more than double.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
And then-
But also like I didn't know the cost of living, which
Right.
in
Which
Korea.
so the next question is like, is the cost of living also double compared to South Africa?
In some cases yes, but in some cases no. Right.
Okay.
So like the first thing that shocked me was the alcohol.
Mhm.
Right. So I went to a bar. First time I came here, went to a bar, and that's the thing. Also, I got an international beer. I didn't drink a local
Mm.
Korean beer, so I
Mm.
drank a Heineken or whatever it was,
Mm.
and I had to pay like 5,001 for a Heineken. Then I did the conversion rate in my head, and it's like close to 70, 80 rand for a beer.
Which how much is it in South Africa?
Not 70, 80 rand. It's probably like 30, 40 rand for like a big draft beer now.
It's about half.
Half, yeah.
About half.
Yeah.
But you also got Heineken in Korea, which they put a crazy premium
Exactly,
on foreign products.
yeah.
there.
But then if you drink the Korean beer, then it's obviously much cheaper if you
It's
want
like
to
the
drink.
same. It's around the same price that you're talking about. Like if you get the Korea, maybe like 4,000, 3,000 won. But you're also at a bar too.
At a bar,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, you
There's
go to
cocktail
a
bar, yeah.
convenience store and it's like,
Yeah. Well, now it's going up again.
isn't it 4 for 10,000?
What? You haven't drank in
No, I
years, eh?
haven't. No.
No, it went up to 11, went up again to 12, and
Oh,
now some
shit.
places it's up to like 13.
For 4?
Yeah, I think they said it's gonna go up again for 4.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Cigarettes are also cheap. Devices just in general are cheap here.
Yeah.
Cigarettes are 4,500 won. Last
and that,
time I smoked.
and that's been the same since I came here, I think.
Yeah, it's been like this so before that it was actually 2,500 won, which is roughly in American dollars like $2 a pack.
Yeah,
And
but
that,
that's not good. That's just gonna force everyone to smoke.
No,
man.
yeah,
Come on.
yeah.
Yeah.
And people were like, "Oh, I'm gonna quit," when it like basically the price doubled.
Yeah.
And like, but still 4,500 at this time is still super cheap.
Yeah.
Super cheap. Yeah. But devices, I mean, you got drinking, you've got smoking. You can't gamble in Korea. You know, it's illegal.
Foreigners can.
Foreigners can, but
Yeah.
gambling in Korea is illegal.
Yeah. There are how many? Like 3.
I think there's
casinos?
about so there's
I
one.
saw there's a new one opening only exclusively for foreigners.
Well, all of them are only exclusively for foreigners.
Yeah, but they advertise as only for foreigners. That's why, like, I didn't
Well,
understand that.
No, that's the only. They're just telling the Korean people like you can't come here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's one in Gangwon-do. It's called Gangwon Land, I think, and Koreans can go there.
Yeah.
So I've been there once. I
Mhm.
went there when I was skiing last time.
But can you
Yes.
gamble?
Oh yeah, you can gamble there. Like it's like a legit casino, and
Koreans
Koreans
are
go
allowed
there.
to?
But you go there and like I mean, do they have casinos in South? I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
So-
Listen, it's we don't ride lions to work.
In the middle of the desert,
Yeah.
playing with sticks and stones.
We have roads, we have buildings.
So in a casino, in a normal casino, normally what you see is like if you play baccarat or blackjack, there's a table,
Yeah.
right? and in the table there's about 7 or 8 seats,
Mhm.
and that's it. You can't play more than that, right? You got some people in the back betting a little bit, but other than that, it's the table. You go to one in Gangwon-land, and I think that's what it's called. You go there, and there's one table and like 30 people, and so there's 7 seats, same. 7 people are sitting down,
Yeah.
but everybody else is standing behind them,
And
and they're just placing bets.
oh my.
Yeah, so every time you play one hand, it takes about 10, 15 minutes to pay everybody out because they have to look at the camera, they have to see who bet what, and like, it's crazy. But every time I went there, which is actually, I mean, I only went once, but when I went there, it was packed,
Yeah, of course.
like ridiculously packed. And
Yeah.
I'm sure it's like that every day over there.
But these like we play poker. What is it called? Like the poker rooms or whatever.
Hold'em pubs?
Yeah, Hold'em pubs.
But that's not real money. Look, I'm sure they're playing for real money somehow, one way or the other.
But that thing, it's gaining so much popularity down in Donggu.
No,
Like I said, they just opened up a ton of them.
no.
Even in Chungju, right before I came in Chungju,
no.
places that used to be normal pubs or bars, they
Yeah,
switched
poker.
over to those Hold'em places.
So I mean, what I think I went to one in Busan like a few years ago, and I
Yeah.
think because it's normally a bar, like you were saying,
Yeah,
but they have tables.
yeah.
And what you do is like you buy chips, and then you play, and then you can use those chips to buy alcohol. Like you can't get money.
So the one that I played at, you buy chips, obviously, then you get your chips,
Oh,
and then there is a prize that you can win. So
okay.
whoever wins,
So it's like a tournament,
like a tournament,
Right.
mini tournament.
but
So
you're talking
whoever-
about a cash prize.
No, it wasn't cash.
Right.
Whatever the thing is, I think it depends on the money. Then it goes into a certain bracket or something.
Mm.
And then you can win. I can't even remember what it was.
Like a Johnny Blue, for example.
Maybe,
First place gets like
maybe.
a Johnny Blue. or
But-
something
but-
like that.
I remember something being like a techie. I don't know. Maybe it was a phone or something. Yeah, but you can win stuff like that as well.
Okay.
Yeah. But this was connected to different places and servers. I don't know exactly how it worked, but yeah,
And I think that's how they were designing it because they're trying to get around the technicality.
exactly.
But I'm
yeah.
sure you also meet people who are like, yo, before we go there, let's you and I, we'll put $20 into the account
Yeah,
and we'll play in the tournament together. And whoever wins, just give me the money, right?
Sure.
Something like that too.
of course.
Yeah.
What's to stop them?
Yeah. And there's also a lot of back house gambling in Korea. Like
Mm.
you'd be surprised, you won't know, but
Yeah.
So so that's again one of the things, and I think the foreigners can go to all the casinos here, and I think like you were saying, there's 3. There's one in Busan. There's 2 in Busan, I think. There's there's 2 because I know there's one in Paradise, like the hotel.
Okay.
There's one there, and then I think there's one in Lotte, maybe. But I know there's 2 in Busan. There's a few in Jeju actually. Jeju because there's so many hotels there
Mm-hmm.
and they have a license, so I know there's a few there. Because I lived in Jeju for a year, and people were telling me about it because, oh, you're a foreigner, you could go to the casino there. I'm like, I mean, I could, but
Yeah.
I don't want to lose my shirt, like, but yeah. So vices, you can find that if you smoke, you drink, you gamble. I mean, you can find it all here, but I mean, that's not really what we're recommending. But if that's your
If you want.
if that's your
If
shit,
you really
know,
want,
yeah.
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 There are so many things that you can do to keep you busy, but we'll make a future episode on that where we'll talk about hobbies and things to do in Korea, because the list just goes on. There's a lot of things you can do.
Yeah. So we've covered about some of the vices, why we're here, some of the work things you can do. Just convenience-wise, I think Korea is also a very convenient place to live, and you don't need to be Korean to enjoy those conveniences. Is that a word? Conveniences?
Yes.
Whatever. But everything is fast. Deliveries are like Coupang, for example, is like the Amazon of Korea for those of you in America listening, and it's faster. You order something, it'll come the next day, right? You can they have Costco here. You can go shopping for food here. Anything that you order online, because the country is so small, it's fast. You get it very, very quickly, unless you're getting it from another country.
But also, yes, because it's small, but also I feel like it's just efficient.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Just Korean people, when they work, they are so efficient.
Korean people have very, I don't know if it's a type A personality. That's probably not the right nomenclature. It's nomenclature. It's probably like they're just rushed people. In Korean, we say like 성격 급해, which means like you just like to rush. Like you need to get things done quickly, fast,
Yeah. Which doesn't make sense, because then you have the other thing that's Korean time, where Korean people are
What do you mean Korean time?
late, always
Oh,
late.
yeah, like me, I'm always
Yeah.
late.
You're not the only one. I know a lot of Korean
No,
people.
but you'd be surprised. It's one or the other. It's one. Like some people hate being late. Like my girlfriend, she will want to be there on the dot. She hates being late, and she gets stressed every time I'm late.
Yeah.
She gets so stressed about that. But I don't know.
The
it's not a Korean
the funniest thing, when I was living in Chungju, I used to walk to work every day
Oh.
because it was 5-minute walk.
Oh.
So I used to walk to work every day, and I always left my house at 10 to 9 because I had to be at work at 9 o'clock. So I always left something like that. Anyway, I always left there. And as I left, there was a small little, I think it was an insurance company, just up the road from where I used to live. Every morning when I left, you see the people, and most of them are women, just running into the office because everyone needs to be there at 9 o'clock, whatever. You just see them park their cars and run, and all of them, you just hear the heels of the, tuk, 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 everyone's running to get the office.
I mean, but I'm sure at the same time, there were also 50% of people already working.
Yeah.
So.
But see, that's the thing. Maybe they come late to work, but at the same time, once they get to work, things happen like this did.
It depends. It really depends, man. Like, Koreans are notoriously known for being fast.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's a lot of, like, and this is speaking from experience when I worked in that Korean company.
Yeah.
The bureaucracy is kind of crazy. All the forms you got to fill. Like, yes, the small things are done quickly.
Yeah.
But big picture things take so long to accomplish because there's such a rigid hierarchy in the company. Simple
example, when you go to the immigration office, every single time I go there, I need to get another paper.
Yeah.
Then they update, no, you need to get this paper.
Yeah.
Go here, sign this paper, go there, every single time.
Yeah.
So I know now when I go to the immigration office, there's going to be something I'm missing.
Yeah.
So I just go there, say, listen, here's my stuff, what do I need?
Yeah. But at the same time, they're also super efficient. Like public servants in Korea, they work quick, right? Like you go and if you need something, they'll get it done for you on the spot, unless it's something that you don't have or something you can't get. But like America, you go to DMV and you're sitting there 5 hours just waiting to talk to somebody. Yeah. Right? No,
South Africa's the exact same.
Yeah.
You go anywhere where there's public service in South Africa.
It's terrible.
Call your boss and say you're not coming in for that day.
Yeah, no, it's going to take you the whole day.
Yeah.
And I think that vice versa, it kind of works the opposite way for police officers in Korea. Because nobody really gives a shit about the police in Korea. No. And there's so many cameras here that you don't really, I think that's the opinion. I mean, I personally think you should have police officers just patrolling around, right? But it's also such a safe country that I guess you don't really need to. But the reason it's safe is because there's so many cameras everywhere, right? If you're ever driving in Korea, there's speed cameras everywhere. Everywhere. There's some in boxes. There's some just in the middle of the road. And then there's some where, like, in a certain zone, it'll record the time that you start and record the time that you finish.
I hate those so much.
And it'll calculate how many kilometers per hour you were going. And if you're going over, like, 70 or 80, they'll give you a ticket for that. If you run a red light, that's a ticket because there's cameras everywhere. And, so that's one of the reasons why it's so safe, right? But at the same time, it gives the police less power. Like, I think 90% of the police officers in Korea don't have guns. I think they might have tasers, but some people have guns. I think, like, detectives and whatnot. But
I've seen a security guard at a bank with a gun, and I was shocked.
In which case, I
was shocked to see that.
Yeah.
But also I think 90% of the time when I see police officers is when they're dealing with drunks.
Yeah. They're like, and the funny thing is, like, you go to any other country, I imagine this in South Africa too, if you're drunk, the police will beat your ass and then put you in prison or something along those lines, right? Here, the police can't touch these people. So what they're doing is, like, these drunk people are yelling and kicking and screaming and punching at the police officers, and they just stand there and they have to take it. Yeah. Like, they can't fight back, right? So they don't have a lot of power here.
They don't.
No, I've seen, it's mostly, like you said, dealing with drunk people. And then also, all I usually see are just cars, and I guess they're going to go catch somebody, right? Like, or they're going to, like, address a disturbance in the house, like a household fight or something, and somebody called the cops. Yeah. But in Korea, the good thing is also you can call the cops for anything. Like, in America, I don't know how it's in South Africa, but in America, if you call 911, it's got to be fucking serious, right?
Yeah.
You're not gonna be like, yo, I fell down and I hurt my knee, so can you come, right? But in Korea, you do that, and like I remember hearing this story about an old guy who he was having some sort of, I don't know what the issue was. He was having a health issue, and he called the police off. He called 911, and he's like, "Oh, can you come pick me up because I'm hurting in whatever area he was hurting in?" And they were like, "Yeah, we'll send the troop right away. We'll send the ambulance and come outside." And he was like, "No, I need to shower first, so you got to give me some time." So it's basically like just using it as a public, like a cab,
Yeah.
right? But that's also because the insurance is so good here that
Yeah.
like people just kind of take it for granted.
But it's also like old people in Korea,
Oh,
they get away with murder, man.
oh dude.
Hey?
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Old
it's
people
crazy.
do what the fuck they
will
want.
do whatever the fuck they want. If you're driving and there's an old person in front of you, they're not gonna move. Even if you honk, they just look back and they just keep walking. Like they don't give a
They
shit.
don't give a shit.
No,
Yeah.
no.
They have the ultimate power, the old people.
And I think what it is it's part of the Korean culture where
Oh,
like
yeah.
you have to respect your elders.
Yeah.
So like if they're older than you, they automatically think they're more deserving of some sort of a certain level of respect.
We'll get into that as well in
Oh,
a future
dude.
episode, the
The whole
the
thing.
hierarchy of the Korean
Oh
culture.
my
Ooh.
gosh. Yeah. No.
There's good and bad things about it, but anyway, we'll
yeah.
cover that
Oh,
later.
yeah.
Another thing I want to say on the calling the police or whatever for everything.
No.
Back in Cheongju, I had a wasp nest in on the balcony. Well, basically the balcony.
Like like outside your window.
But outside the window.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
I had a wasp nest there, and it was pretty big, and I decided to get rid of it myself.
No.
So yeah, long story short, I finally managed to get rid of the thing.
I remember you told me this story. You just hit it with a stick and it fell down.
Yeah, I hit it a couple of times with a stick and then it fell off.
Crazy, bro.
But yeah, I was prepared, man. I had mask on and I had long gloves.
Yeah, but they
on.
go into your house and like it doesn't matter what you have.
Yeah, but I had that extra
window.
window on the side.
So you just slam it shut if you see them coming towards
Yeah.
you.
Anyway, yeah, that was a mission.
Yeah.
Anyway, destroyed it, but only afterwards. I found out you can just call the fire department and they'll come and take it away.
But so now, going back to your story, you hit the hive, it fell down. I'm sure it burst when it fell on the floor.
Yeah.
What about the people downstairs? What the fuck happened to them?
So what happened was, and I did this when I got back from work one night
Oh.
because I opened my balcony and I think it was summertime or something. So I opened the window and then I have got that the mesh to keep out the bugs,
The screen.
the
Yeah.
screen,
Oh.
and I just saw these wasps attacking through the thing. It's like, what the?
Holy shit.
What's going on here?
Yeah.
And I have this small little window above my washing machine,
Oh.
so I had to run and close that thing.
Oh.
And these wasps came in and it kept on attacking through the screen. And I was like, what the fuck's going on?
So it wasn't just like a wasp nest and you were just looking at it. There were actual wasps like patrolling the area.
They were, yeah. So I think what happened when I opened my window, I bumped the nest, and they were like aggressive and trying to see what's going on.
Oh.
And because that side I have a little curtain that I always close, so I'd never seen that thing there.
Right.
It's always closed. And then so I open up the curtain, and I see this huge nest in the corner. I was like, well, I got to make a plan because this is dangerous, you know.
And your plan was cover yourself up and beat the nest to death?
Yeah. So I covered myself up, and I had the window, so I just opened the window, bang it, and close the window. Open the window, bang it, close the window.
Yeah.
And just hope to God that none of these wasps come in. And yeah, one or two came in, but I just sprayed them with a
Ant killer or whatever
bug
it's called.
spray or whatever. Yeah.
Oh.
So eventually, on the last bang, I hit the wasp nest and it fell off.
Oh.
Closed the window, and checked inside. Okay, everything's clear. So I went downstairs because there's like parking area downstairs.
Yeah.
So I went downstairs and someone drove over the nest.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh good.
So someone gave me a favor. I don't know. Someone drove over the nest. There was no one there.
Oh.
There were a couple of wasps laying around, so I just picked up the nest and put it in a bag and chucked it out.
You picked up the nest?
I had glove on.
But Jesus, bro. Some of those wasps are they're gonna chase you all the way to fucking Busan, bro.
Some of them came back, I'm
sure they
Weeks
did.
after, they came back and say,
came back to the nest.
I
They're like, where's my
remember.
home?
we remember.
Yeah, just like right outside your window. They're not even trying to attack you, just looking at you like, yo, you fucked my house up.
I didn't have a choice, man.
Oh. But
Yeah.
you can call the
Yeah, next day, I went to work and I told my coworker,
Yeah.
I was like, let me tell you what happened last night, man. And she was like, you're crazy. You should just call the fire department, 119. 119.
119 in Korea. Yeah,
119. You should call 119.
I
But
think
why?
no, I think you call 112.
Yeah, maybe one.
There's a bunch of different, like 112 is maybe for like murder or something, and 119 is for like fire department maybe. I don't know, but anyway, yeah. So you call whatever. Yeah, he told you.
Yeah,
call
so I
whatever
didn't
you want.
call anyone, so it's like, okay, now I know for the future when there's a wasp nest in my fucking window, then I
Yeah.
can call 112 or 11 something.
Yeah. Speaking of bugs, in the summer there's a lot of bugs here. I don't know how it is in South Africa, but there's a lot of bugs
There's
here.
a lot of bugs in South Africa too.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of wasps, surprisingly. Because I think Koreans, they do some of the activities. We're gonna discuss all the activities you can do in Korea too. But one of them that Koreans really like is hiking.
Yeah.
And when you go hiking, I've always seen a wasp every time I go hiking. Every time you climb a mountain, there's a wasp somewhere. And it's coming after you.
I've never seen those.
It fucking comes after you, bro. And sometimes it looks like a bee, and it's just fucking huge.
Yeah, yeah.
It's huge. Yeah, but they come after you.
No, I don't know. Like for me, I don't feel like there's that many bugs in Korea. Like we have a lot of bugs in South Africa, so.
It depends on where you live. I think, like in your house, I don't really see any bugs, which is, I'm sure there's.
Yeah, 'cause this house is clean, bro.
Well, it's not about cleanliness because my house, when I lived in.
That's what people say they don't clean.
No. When I lived in Hogan, my house was fucking spotless. Every day I would vacuum. Every week I would mop. There wasn't a lot of things on the floor, and I would close all my screens. And it was to the point where, in a window screen.
Are you talking about mosquitoes?
No.
Mhm.
I'll tell you.
Okay.
In the window screen,
Hmm.
there's a little hole in the
Yeah.
bottom of the window screen because what needs to happen
Little
is when
gap.
it rains,
Yeah.
the water needs to flow out. So you can't block that hole. But if you go to Daiso, which is one of the great places in Korea, talk about that
Daiso.
later. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But if you go there, they have a little mini window screen that you put into those holes.
Okay.
So that's the extent of how I covered my whole house. And one day I walk into my house and there's a praying mantis inside my house. A praying mantis. And I don't know where it came from because I closed every time I left my house, I would close my windows. So I had a lot of stink bugs. You know what stink bugs are, right?
Yeah.
They're like mini cockroaches, but just you smash them and they
Stink.
yeah. But I killed a few and they smell like grass, like freshly cut grass.
That's not bad.
Yeah. Which I was just like, oh, okay, it just smells like grass.
Oh.
But it lingers, and I think that's why it kind of just annoys you.
I must say, one of my friends as well, like, he has the same problem, but with mosquitoes.
I never had a mosquito in my house.
Yeah, he has a problem with mosquitoes.
It
He
depends
has
on where you
he
live.
has the mesh and he has everything. He has
Oh.
that screen, but he says somehow they still keep coming in.
And mosquitoes are more along the lines of when you walk in, they walk in with you, right? They're kind of just on your clothes or something. They'll walk
like
up with you.
Spies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll just chill, and then once they
Mhm.
feel safe, they'll start roaming around. And then when you're sleeping, you get zzz in your ear, and you just fucking wake
I
up.
must say, here I'm lucky. I don't have bugs, don't have mosquitoes, don't have anything.
Which is surprising because you got a lot of plants too. Yeah. Which is good. But anyway, yeah. So Daiso, we kind of briefly mentioned. That's a whole episode.
That's gonna be one of our future. In the next couple of episodes, we want to target the new people coming to Korea soon.
Right.
Because in March we have probably the biggest intake of foreigners coming to Korea, because most of the schools and the curriculums and the academic year start in March.
Yeah.
So usually, if the school is fairly well structured and half decent, most of the new teachers will be coming in March. So we want to just have a couple of episodes helping those people adjust to the first few weeks in Korea. So shopping will be one of those episodes. We're going to talk about.
It might be a more than one episode.
Yeah, there's a lot of things to talk about with the shopping, where to go, what to buy, where,
Right.
online, etc. Another one we were talking about is transportation,
Yeah.
public transportation.
Yep.
And
And then housing.
housing.
Yep.
Also, on that housing one, I thought also we need to talk about practical things at home. What to do with your trash, your recycling,
Right.
because it's different in many places. Dealing with the landlord, your food waste,
Right.
your boiler.
Right.
You can maybe help out with a boiler,
Right.
because turning on the boiler and the water, the hot water and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's
oh
a
my
whole episode
God,
in itself
that's
too.
a mission.
Yeah. All those buttons, you don't know what the fuck they mean. And you
Yeah.
just keep pressing, pray to
Yeah.
God that it works, right?
How to change your door code.
Yeah, which you found out recently after
Yeah.
6 years of living
Yeah.
here.
Well, again, we talk about the safety. I've never had any reason to change it.
No.
But now I do it just because I figured out how to, so that's why I did it. But also just in case, like, if you feel unsafe maybe the previous people that used to live there, maybe, I don't know, whatever the case is, maybe you think your landlord's snooping around your house while you're at work.
Speaking of which,
Yeah,
real
just
quick,
change your door code.
yeah, this was funny because I used to live in Hoge about like up until last year I was living in Hoge, right?
Yeah.
And when I moved out, I didn't tell the landlord. I changed the door code, and I didn't tell my landlord the new door code, and they never asked me for the new door code, never. And why?
Suspicious,
Well,
eh?
no, the reason is because there's a key card
Yeah,
that you can scan on each door code.
yeah.
So the landlord has those in case there's people who like just dip without paying the rent.
Okay.
And,
yeah.
like, just
so of course
leave
there
from-
must be some backup.
Yeah.
But it doesn't reset your. If you use a key card, does it reset?
No, it doesn't reset it, but the landlord can come into your house and reset your door lock so you can't go back inside. That's one thing. But there is a way to reset. I don't know exactly how, but every door lock, there's a way to reset the key cards registered to that door lock too. So technically speaking, you can lock everybody out, including the landlord, I believe. At
But
which
you don't want to
point-
do that though.
No. But
Yeah.
at the
'Cause
same
you need
time,
that. You need that for that backup though, just in case.
yeah, if you forget the password.
Yeah.
So a story. These key cards are great. Like you don't need your keys, right?
No.
But when I lived in Changwon, there was one time where I was living in a brand new place and brand new, spanking new, nice door lock and everything.
Yeah.
And I changed the so this is a story. Please keep this in mind. Always remember this. Whenever you change your password on your door lock, you need to make sure you don't close that door. Don't close that fucking door. And what I mean,
What do
like,
you mean?
so after you change the code,
Yeah.
there's a way to lock. You have to lock the door and test it first
Yes.
before you actually
Oh,
close
I
the
see.
door.
Yeah.
Because once you close the door and it locks, and
Mhm.
there's a little. So the thing about different lock codes is some of them are buttons, which are
Mhm.
fine. You're not going to make a mistake on the buttons. But a
You
lot of
can.
them are. Well, you can.
Yeah.
But a lot of them are touch screen.
Yeah.
So I put in what I thought was the code,
You made a mistake.
and I made a mistake, and I didn't think about it. So I'm like, well, fuck. So I called, and the landlord didn't have a key, or so they said.
Yeah.
They said, oh, we don't have a key, right? So what I had to do was I had to call a locksmith, and what they do with that is they destroy that lock.
You have to get a new one.
So what they do is they get a drill, and they drill through the lock so it gets destroyed,
Oh my.
and then you have to take everything out and put in a new one, and that cost me 300,000 won. Yeah. And it was like after 2 days of living in there.
Yeah. So basically, what you're saying is open the door, change the code, push the button, open it again, test the code,
Yes.
and then see if it opens, then close it.
Yeah. Well, the other thing being record yourself changing the code so that you know if there's a
Yeah,
mistake,
no,
what
that's
the
not a bad
possibility is.
idea,
Yeah,
no. Yeah.
But the best one is basically if you in the inside of the house, there's a little button you can press to lock it.
Yeah.
So when you lock it, don't do it with the door closed. Leave
Yeah.
the door open, change the code, hold the door open, press the button to close the door
Yeah.
to lock it, and then try the code
try it
again.
again,
Yeah.
yeah.
Try it 2 or 3 times because that was one of my worst experiences ever. Fucking terrible. And it was like right before Chuseok. So like I was planning on going on vacation, and I got locked out of my house and I couldn't get anything. So I was up until like 2, 3 in the morning just waiting for a locksmith. Like, oh my god, please just open this goddamn door.
I also have quite a funny story about that.
Oh.
The door codes.
Oh.
This also happened at like 2, 3, 4 a.m.
Oh.
when I got home after a night out.
Yeah.
Got to the apartment.
You talking about this house?
No. This is when I was still in Chungju.
Oh.
Yeah. So stupid, and this was a working night as well. It was like a
Yeah, work the next day.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was like a Wednesday night or something. So I got home, type in the code, teet, and then teet, wrong password.
Oh.
And obviously I'm
Hammered.
a little bit hammered, so now I'm trying to think, and I do it again. Because I don't think about my code, because like you put it in for so long, it's just like muscle memory. Your finger does the work. You don't set that teet, you just
Right.
go teet.
Right.
It's not working. Like, what the fuck's going on here? Type it in again and again. And eventually I stop and I hit a blank. Like, what was my code? And I just hit a blank. Like, I can't remember my code.
Yeah.
Like, and the more I'm trying to think of it, the further it goes, you know? I'm like,
mm.
what the fuck's going on here? And I try again. Eventually the alarm goes off.
Yeah.
If you do it too many times.
Like 5 times it goes
I
off.
can't remember. It felt like I did it 20 times.
Oh.
But the alarm went off, and I'm like, oh, fuck. And now it's 3 in the morning. This alarm goes off. It's noisy.
Yeah.
I've got neighbors.
It goes off for about a minute. Like it just keeps going for about a minute.
And now I'm just standing there. Eventually I sit down just to try and collect my
Like
thoughts.
in the middle of the hallway
Yeah,
outside
just
your house.
sat down trying to collect my thoughts.
Yeah.
And I hear someone inside my apartment saying, 누구세요?
You're in the wrong fucking house.
Bruh. I looked at the number. I was one floor down.
Oh, you idiot.
I went to the wrong house. So I just got up and I ran up. Now, luckily for me, the person who lived right beneath me was one of my coworkers.
Yeah.
So one of my coworkers, she was a Chinese teacher at the time. So she was there. So I just ran, went home, typed in my code first time, went in, went to bed. Next morning, went to work, and I was feeling rough.
Yeah.
And I went to work, and as soon as I get to work, I see the Chinese teacher talking to the director and saying we need to call the police.
Someone tried to
come in my apartment or whatever. Yeah. And now, like, I don't want to fess up that I've been drinking, you know what I mean? Because I was out the whole night. Right. But now they want to call the police. So I said, guys, stop,
relax,
stop this. It was me.
Yeah.
And I had a good laugh about it, and I just apologized and say sorry, like wrong floor.
And it happens, like it happens to everybody, especially when you're drunk. You go to the wrong house, you press it a few times, and it locks. One last story, real quick, and this has to do with safety and door lock. So each door lock, there's a battery compartment, and sometimes those batteries run out.
Yeah.
And what happens when those batteries run out is you think it's because you don't think about your door locking when you leave because it's automatic, right? You're like do 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 do, and you hear the sound and it locks. But after a certain time, you don't even listen for that sound anymore. You just leave after the door closes. So there was one time I was living when I was first in Korea, my first year.
Yeah.
I was living in like a small studio, and I left my house, and I came back home after work. And, you in the door lock, you push up the panel, and then you press the number, and then you push the panel down. So I pushed up the panel, and usually when you do that, it lights up. You see the lights behind the light. But I didn't see any lights, right? So I'm like, well, what the fuck? I guess it died. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, oh, shit. The battery must be dead. I can't open my door. Oh, shit. So then I try, and nothing's happening.
Was it locked?
So then I open it, and it opened. So basically, the whole day while I was at work, my door was unlocked. So I went inside. I'm like, well, this coming from America, your door is unlocked. You're gonna get fucking robbed.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you're gonna get robbed, right? But I went inside and there was nothing. Everything was perfect, pristine. Nothing wrong. No problems, right? So that's one of the like safety and door locks. And
but that's again goes to show that just in Korea, if something isn't yours, leave it alone.
Yes, please. Because you're gonna get caught. You're gonna get caught no matter what you.
But it's just the way that the people think. Like that's why you don't have. You can leave when you go to a bar, you go to a restaurant, you go wherever. You leave your stuff on the table. You go to the bathroom. You come back, everything's still there. You go to a cafe, you leave your shit on the table. You go wherever, you come back, it's still there.
Yeah.
They have that mentality where that's not mine. I'm not gonna touch it.
It's more like I don't want to get arrested for taking something stupid, right?
Yeah.
But I heard in Seoul, it's kind of getting. Some people are stealing phones.
Well, I must say, one of my backpacks got stolen in Itaewon. But I mean, that's Itaewon. That's not really Korea.
And I'm not trying to be racist, but it was probably a foreigner that took it and not a Korean person.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Because that's the thing in Itaewon. When you go there, it doesn't feel like you're in Korea anymore.
No, it's like America or like whatever country you're from.
It feels like a universal country from all the people around the world just crammed into one little place.
It feels like New York City.
Yeah.
Basically.
I don't like it.
One last thing while we're talking about this is just keep this in mind when you come to Korea. The bathrooms in Korea, there isn't a bathtub. And in America, there's bathtubs in every house.
Yeah, most of the places.
Right.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is because the drain is in the bathtub in the other countries. But in Korea, the drain is on the floor of the whole bathroom.
Yeah.
So this is good, number one, for cleaning the bathroom.
Yeah.
Because you can use water. You can use your
so
shower head to clean everything. But when you take a shower, you're not going to be doing it in a bathtub or a separate area.
Yeah. Your whole bathroom is basically the shower.
Basically, right. So you can spray your water anywhere in your bathroom and it'll go down the drain. But, you're going to have to clean the water so that you don't get any mold and shit like that. But that was one of, like, the conveniences that I think it was pretty cool, right?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing as well, because I grew up with a bathtub in my house, so I love taking a bath.
No.
Nice
you can't take a bath. That's one of the worst things.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
So, you just can't take a bath. But the nice thing, though, is when you book into a hotel or whatever, you can always select, I want one with a bathtub.
Yep.
So then when you go check into the hotel, you're like, okay, king is home. You know what I mean? You take and you appreciate that.
And they have public baths here, which are a little bit more not really to your liking because you can't really chill in your own privacy. No, there's like public bathtubs, like in Rome.
Public bathtub? That sounds so strange.
So it's like a big ass swimming pool,
Mhm.
and it's the bathtub.
Like a hot spring.
It's kind of like that, but
Yeah.
it's called a public bath, and you go there and it's just big square.
People wash in the thing.
So there's showers.
Yeah, yeah.
So you got to shower first before you
Okay.
go in the bath.
But that's similar to the saunas, man.
But saunas don't always come with a bath. Saunas are like heat rooms, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Where you
yeah.
go in a room and it's hot and you
Oh
sweat
no
it
no
out.
no! But there's one up Parodia where you have that big, like hot water. You just chill in the hot
That's
water.
the bath I'm talking about. Yeah. So that's the
okay.
public bath.
Bathhouse or
It's like a public bath or bathhouse or whatever. They call
What
it
is
a
it called?
mogyokthang.
okay.
Mogyokthang. Mogyok
Uh,
means bath and tang means
yeah.
like.
Yeah, so
water,
this one's got those bathtubs or whatever you can chill in,
Mm.
different degrees, different
Yeah,
temperatures,
yeah.
and then you have the wet room and the dry room.
Dry sauna and the wet
The
sauna.
wet sauna, yeah. You have that. That's quite nice. I love that.
Yeah. So once
Yeah.
you go, I mean, I didn't really like it when I first came here,
Mhm.
but after you keep going to it,
Yeah.
like it relaxes your muscles, just every part.
You know
of
what's
your
nice? You
muscles.
go to that place after a nice hike.
Yeah.
You go for a long
And your whole
hike,
body just and you
and you
just
just go
sleep
back,
for the
yeah.
rest of the day.
and if you really want, you can pay some old man to wash your body from top to bottom.
You don't want to say wash. It's more like scrub.
Scrub the skin off of your body. Some old man while you're laying there naked, and this Ajoshi just going and cleaning your skin
Yeah.
for you.
And what Koreans are big on, like exfoliating. I think that's what it's called, where it's like a rag and it's very rough. And
Yeah.
when you rub it against your skin, it exfoliates all your dead skin cells. And what Ian's talking about is you go to these bathhouses,
Yeah.
you pay this guy like 50,000 won, 40. It depends on the
I don't
place.
know.
30 to
I've
50.
never even looked at the price.
You pay this guy and you're buck ass naked on a metal table and you're just lying there and this dude takes this towel and just scrapes every part of your body and
And he scrubs, eh?
Oh,
Like he
yeah.
doesn't take it easy.
no, he fucking gets in there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I've never done it.
I've never
but-
done that either.
Yeah, but I've seen him like do it once. It's like, my God,
And
you
he goes
actually
at
pay
it.
for that,
Yeah. He like tries to rip the
And he
skin
has
off your
this
body,
bucket
bro.
of water, and he
Yep.
splashes you with water. He flips you over, and
Yep.
you're like,
Yep.
yeah.
And it works. It's supposed to be good for your skin. That's what they say. Yeah.
Yeah. But the bathhouse itself is quite nice, though.
Oh
Very-
yeah,
very
it's
relaxing.
excellent.
Then you have like there's a cold pool. The one up the road, yeah, it's got a nice cold pool
Yeah.
in as well.
So after you go
And
to
then
the
you
hot
have
one,
that shower
where you just
where you
cold
push,
water.
push the button
Yeah.
and it say deet deet, poof, and
yeah.
it just
And that water just fucking comes down on you, bro. It's like a waterfall.
and it's freezing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But the
that's a nice
pressure of that water
cold
is
plunge,
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah. Shit, we talked about a lot of different things.
Yeah. Also, guys, just reminder again in the comment section, please leave comments below what you would like to know about Korea, what we can tell you, what we can discuss. Like we said, between the two of us, we've got about 12, 13 years of experience living in Korea. So yeah, we can tell you what to do, and if we don't know, we're gonna find the people to tell you whatever you need to know.
Right.
In the future episodes, we're going to be looking at, like we said, Korean cultures as well. We're going to do that in the future. We're going to get some people on to help us on what to look for in recruiting, how
Right.
to recruit the right people, how you can be better suited for your work. What else?
I was going to say something and I just forgot. I lost my train of thought. I think the big thing is, so as Ian's speaking about, I mean, taxes are also a big thing. And there's a lot of Korean things that we might not know about either because we have 12 years of experience together. But at the same time, it's at a similar industry, right?
Yeah.
So for different industries, we might not be as familiar.
Mm.
But it helps that I speak Korean and English. So what we can do is we can also get Korean guests here to explain all these things and I can help translate that too. That being said, a little bit about the podcast, which we kind of grazed over.
Mm.
But I think this podcast isn't only for people who are coming to Korea or planning to come to Korea. It's also for people who are living here, right? Because I know, like for Ian, for example, there's a few things that he didn't know until I talked to him about it, like houses and stuff, like changing the door lock code, for example, right? But what you quickly realize is as you're listening to our podcast, if you're already living in Korea, you've probably run into the same issues that we've ran into, and you're going to agree with a lot of the issues that we have, right?
Yeah.
So keep in mind, it's not just tailored for new people that are thinking about coming here or on their way here. That being said, we are going to have two separate playlists or two separate sections of this podcast. One is going to be where we kind of just sit here, talk, conversate, and focus in on a topic, but it's not going to be like a how-to, right? But on the other side, we're gonna have a playlist where sometimes we'll bring something up during this conversation, and we'll say, oh, we're gonna talk about this, or we'll link you to the video, and you can check out a video, and that'll be more like a how-to, right?
Yeah.
So, for example, one of the things we're thinking about is Kakao Taxi, for example, and what we'll do is we'll take a screenshot or a screen record, and we'll guide you through the process
How
of
to sign up.
how to sign up, starting
to-
from downloading the app
Yeah.
to signing up to
Yeah.
calling a cab and etc.
Yeah.
Right? So just keep in mind, we'll also have how-to instructions. We're not going to always just be sitting here talking,
Mm.
but for the most part, that's how we're going to do this podcast, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, just forget
So
what we
yeah,
did.
like we said, we don't know what you don't know, right? We know what we don't know, so we can try and help you with that.
Right.
But yeah, let us know, and then like we said, maybe we know. If we don't, we'll find out how to do whatever you guys need to do or what you need help with.
Oh.
At the same time, there was another thing I was gonna say about some of the future episodes. Like we said, we're gonna talk about hobbies, right? What things to do in Korea. We're gonna talk about the shopping, transportation. We're gonna talk about
Housing,
the taxes, the
taxes.
housing. We're gonna in the future we're looking at having some guests on that, maybe some interesting guests that can tell us a little bit of their stories and their experiences of living in Korea.
No,
Um,
no. I've already got 2 or 3 that they're like, yo, call me.
yeah.
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 So
Oh, we're also going to be talking about finding your clique, basically, finding your niche. We're going to set you up with like a lot of these Facebook accounts or Reddit. What is it called? Reddit what?
Reddit. Let's just call it Reddit.
Like the groups?
Posts? Oh, Reddit. Oh, channels? No, I think it's called Reddit groups.
Whatever.
I think it's groups.
Okay, anyway, Facebook groups, Reddit groups, that, yeah, there you can find most of the stuff that you need. Some of them are quite cool, some of them waste of time, basically.
No.
Yeah, so we've got a lot of things we want to share with you guys, so please be sure to like and subscribe, and tell your friends, share these videos, and then, yeah, like, if you guys help us, we can help you. That's basically what it comes down to.
Yeah, like, subscribe, and leave comments, because that'll help us kind of figure out. I mean, we already have a lot of ideas in mind for the
Yeah.
future, but if there is something you do want to know, we're more than happy to cover
Food,
that.
sorry, food. That was the other one to talk about. Food.
So,
Right, different types of food,
oh.
and also how to eat or behave with the right etiquette in a restaurant.
Is there etiquette in a restaurant? Like, don't be loud. Don't throw the dish. Like, which parts are you
No, but I'm talking about like when you drink with the older people and stuff like that.
Yeah, drinking, that's a whole different... Yeah, when we talk about the older people, that whole
Yeah.
thing, we'll bring that
We'll
up.
discuss that,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a whole...
Because you don't just come to Korea and you just don't have a beer
No.
and look someone in the eyes and say cheers.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a whole
No,
ritual behind
no,
it.
that's like the worst thing you can do. Yeah, where you just go, hey, let's drink. No,
Yeah.
you can't. No. And even between friends, like some people in Korean people, some of them are just like,
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
older than
another
you,
one.
bro.
We're gonna go into do's and don'ts in public and also at the workplace. Things that you should avoid doing at a workplace.
which are different from other countries. Like,
no, working for a Korean.
like when you work for a Korean.
When you work for a Korean
Oh.
director or whatever, it's a little bit different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
yeah, let us know.
I think that's it, just for the first episode, right? Did we talk about?
Everything.
We talked about everything.
Yeah.
And we talked enough about ourselves, right? And enough about the podcast.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep. Cool. Thanks for listening.
Out.
All right, so if you like this video, please click subscribe in the middle over here and check out our links below under the video.
And also make sure to click on the notification icon so that you can stay up to date with our future episodes. And be sure to leave some comments below and let us know what you would like us to discuss in future episodes.